Kitco Mining's special coverage of the Precious Metals Summit is brought to you by Inventa Capital.
There's a long list of metals needed for energy transition, none so critical as copper. I'm with Paul Harbidge. He is CEO of Faraday Copper. Welcome to Kitco, Paul.
Good morning and thank you.
Tell us about copper. What is the thesis?
Look, I think the demand for copper is going to improve greatly, particularly as you say, we go through this transition, from combustion engines to EVs, as well as the whole clean energy transition.
Mm-hmm. What are you focused on at Faraday?
And we're focused on US domestic sources of copper. We've got two key projects, our flagship property in Arizona, which is one of the largest undeveloped copper resources in North America, with almost 4 billion pounds of copper. And then we've got the Contact Copper project in Nevada, which is a heap leach opportunity.
You've been moving at a fast clip. You are newly listed and you're on the main board on the TSX.
That's right. I mean, we came on board, took over the management of the company just over a year ago. And in that time, we've achieved a phenomenal amount of work, and one of which has been the uplisting from the CSE to the Toronto main board. And really that gives us better liquidity, improved exposure for investors, and gives confidence to investors about the work that we're doing on the projects.
You've done this before, Paul. I really liked your background. Talk about what you've done before you came to Faraday.
Yeah, I'm a geologist by education, an explorer by experience. Over 30 years in the industry, a lot of time in Africa, led the team at Randgold Resources through a lot of the big discoveries, and then was at Goldcorp, and then more recently with GT Gold, which again we were able to sell onto a major in Newmont. And really that's one of our theses, is to bring senior company mentality to the junior world. And by that, I mean making sure that we are getting empirical data to make informed decisions as opposed to just assumptions.
Bring us up to the state of the project right now. What's the work that's been done, Paul?
So on Copper Creek, in the year that we've been on board, we've put together a full geological model. And that's really like the foundation to your house. It really helps to constrain the mineral content of the deposit. We've also then undertaken geotechnical work, metallurgy, and we've updated the resource. And for the first time, we've got both a combined open pit and underground resource. And as I say, with sort of almost 4 billion pounds of contained metal. And now it's about bolting all of these pieces of empirical data together to deliver an updated PEA, which is coming at the beginning of Q2 next year. As I say, that will be a combined open pit and bulk underground mine operation.
Community, who's around you at Copper Creek?
No, there's sort of three communities, San Manuel, and San Manuel, it's an interesting story. It was a purpose-built mining town by Magma back in 1950s when the San Manuel mine opened. And then there's Mammoth, again a mining community, and then Oracle, and really the three communities you've seen that they're economically challenged right now. Unemployment, there's a number of social problems. So we recently held a number of public open meetings and very positive in support of a potential new operation here with jobs and improving the economic environment.
Are you financed?
We are. We have got $13.5 million in the treasury. That's Canadian, and that's sufficient to see us through a lot of next year in terms of our key deliverables. As well as the PEA, we've just started drilling again. We've got a 10,000 meter program. It's also exciting to be drilling. With three aims really. One is we see great opportunity to expand the open pit resources. Also, the drilling from our phase one program, we were showing that even underground that we're getting better grades and expanding beyond on the resource there. So better delineating that high grade. And then, exploration upside, testing new targets. There's 400 breccias on the property that have been mapped. 34 have had a drill hole or more, and only 14 are in the resource. So we think there's a high probability of making new discoveries.
How's your water situation?
No, good. We've got our own water rights, and I think again one of the key features in where we're located in the San Pedro Valley is water's actually prioritised for industrial use because there's a sort of natural contamination to that water from the local geology, and so there's no agricultural usage in the valley.
Can you talk about your share structure?
Yeah, we've got three key strategic shareholders on our register: in the Lundin family, Murray Edwards and Pierre Lassonde. So collectively, they own about 24% of the company. Management and insiders have got almost 4%, and the prior management have almost 10% as well. So we've got 123 million shares outstanding.
Take us through the next 12 months. What are going to be the milestones you're going to be hitting with the, again, it was a pre-feasibility, is that correct?
PEA.
PEA, sorry.
Yeah, so no, I think the key milestones are, the PEA on Copper Creek, the drill results from the phase 2 drilling, the 10,000 meters. I think the improved liquidity now from that TSX listing. And then, to contact, we're doing sort of earlier stage exploration work. We've flown geophysics, geochemistry, mapping, highlighting, targets, building out a geological model for the resource and looking to update that mineral resource estimate.
And you've got the drills turning as well too. So what's your news flow going to be over the next 6 months?
Yeah, I think we'll be announcing the base case to the PEA and what that's going to look like. And then now that we're drilling, we're 2 weeks into the start of that program. So expect drill results coming in short order.
And I guess also the location you have year-round drilling?
No. What I like to do is I like to do a phased approach. The challenge when you're drilling is it's almost like an exercise of logistics, and you don't really get to interpret all of the data. So generally we drill in the dry season in Arizona, so sort of November till June, and then during the monsoon time, that's when we consolidate all of the data, do interpretations, and then plan for the next drilling.
Neighbors nearby you as well in terms of like mining operations or projects?
Yeah, I mean, we've got some of the biggest mining companies in the world, whether it's Freeport in the Morenci Safford area, there's Asarco 20 miles up the road at the Ray Mine, there's Capstone at Pinto Valley, BHP and Rio at Resolution as well. So, we've got great neighbors.
Mm-hmm. And we've been seeing some more support from the Biden administration around critical metals.
Yeah, look, I think this has been the contradiction, and I think it's not just the US, but we've seen it globally, that everybody wants this energy transition, but then they don't want mining. And I think, there needs to be a better education from the industry. I think we're still viewed as this, almost like oil and gas, that we're this dirty polluter and damage to the environment. And I think people have this misconception of mining. They have images from, long ago, whereas now a modern mining operation, adheres to the highest level of environmental control. And then also when they get rehabilitated, you almost don't know that there's a mine there. But certainly it's been encouraging to see that, the US has done a U-turn and saying, actually, we need to produce these metals, in country. So I think we're going to see as time passes that's going to help facilitate the permitting process.
Paul, thank you very much for your time.
No, thank you.
My name is Michael McRae with Kitco Mining. You are watching 2022 Precious Metals Summit, Zurich.
Kitco Mining special coverage of the Precious Metals Summit is brought to you by Inventa Capital.